Okay, maybe we could talk a little bit about the beginning of the ecology movement as you saw it in '68. What was the thinking? What were the comments you heard? What was the conversation about? What was your personal reaction?
Well, that we really weren't reading things on ecology at the time, because a lot of the books didn't actually come out till about that time, and the school was always behind getting new books. I think something like the population bomb or whatever was 1970, and so that was after the fact. We just then studied animal ecology basically, and but I don't remember it being a movement at that time. It was definitely not in Dubuque, Iowa. So no, we were just learning the term ecology.
Okay. Okay, this is, again, can go beyond politics. And that was a period, this was a women's college, right?
Yeah.
And it was a Catholic college. And,
Yeah.
well, things would change if you went to a Catholic college today. Are there Catholic women's colleges, and are they the same? And
Well, I don't know, because I'm not there, but the Clark College then became co-ed by the time I was a senior. They allowed a few fellas in, and the boys' college, Loras College, let women in to take various classes. So both schools, both Catholic schools in Dubuque now are co-ed, and they've added master's programs and whatever. But I think the master's program was something that was added probably in about 68, 69. But basically we were just being trained to be wives of educated men.
yeah.
So.
No, what were, that's what I guess it was going to be my next question, is what were you and your fellow female students dreaming of the future? What were you thinking it was going to be?
Oh, well, I don't remember. I remember wondering about what am I going to do? I mean, that's why I added my biology majors. Like, I was a Spanish major and I was learning Spanish literature, but I knew I couldn't speak Spanish very well. I couldn't imagine teaching Spanish. So I had to do something else. I really wanted to be either an astronomer or a geology person. But of course that wasn't taught at Clark College. It was either physics, chemistry, or biology. And I really wasn't into math and physics. I took physics in summer school of 1968 at Loras College. Summer school you could take, it was co-ed. And I took chemistry probably in that fall. I really liked biochemistry, which I think I took the last term of my, but that was already 1969 when I graduated.
Remember the events of '68? There was several. One, of course, there was a primary going on, and Eugene McCarthy and Bobby Kennedy, and then there was Martin Luther King got assassinated, and then there were riots, and then Bobby Kennedy got assassinated. And there was a Democratic convention in your hometown.
Yes, actually, I think I was probably at home in August when the '68 convention went on, and I remember Mayor Daley calling out the police and whatever. I remember being at home when Bobby Kennedy was assassinated, because I had the radio that went on automatically in the morning, and they were talking about that, and it's like, are you in a dream or not when you're waking up to hear that kind of things. I do remember the assassination of King, but I don't remember where I was at that time, if that was while I was still in Dubuque or not, for the summer school program.
Well, what did those events mean, if anything? Did they mean nothing? Was it just like, oh, the White Sox won yesterday? I'm not trying to project what exactly do you remember. Was it something you would have forgotten if people hadn't made a big deal about it?
No, I think it was upsetting, but I don't remember what my thoughts were at that time. I mean, that was 40 years ago. So I can't say that I remember anything beyond, being shocked at those proceedings going on.
Did you vote that year, 1968?
I don't remember. If I was 21, I probably did. But I don't even remember that event. If I did it in Chicago, or if I did it in Iowa, or if I even did it because I was probably legally living in Chicago, but I was at Dubuque. I just don't remember.
Yeah. And did you follow the campaign at all? And there was a lot of college activity. Maybe it didn't touch Clark or Dubuque.
No, I mean, there were no protests. We really never saw newspapers or anything, and didn't watch TV. I had a radio, so I'm sure I listened to some of it, but I can't say that it was a big part of my life, no. And I guess that's the problem with being in, small towns with small colleges. I'm sure there were people that were active, within our community, especially people who were in sociology or political science, but I guess I was more focused on trying to get 4 years of biology into a year and a half to graduate.
Was the term women's liberation known at the time?
Yes, actually, it was, and I guess I learned about it not in '68, but a couple of years beforehand when I went to Spain. But it wasn't like discussed in any class that I had at Clark. I guess Gloria Steinem became a name that was known, but like I said, there wasn't anything that we discussed about it.
Were you expecting a change? Did you expect changes in any part of society, life, the world, technology, or was it more focused on your passing the test?
I guess just passing the test. I mean, I'm not a person who reads science fiction, so it's like I wasn't projecting what it was going to be like in the future, except I do remember, and it may have been when I was home in Chicago and that year, or was seeing a program where they said people would be able to drive on the freeway and you just click on to some tower and you say, okay, I'm so-and-so and I'm here and I want to go there, and they'll put you on a road, and so you didn't have to bother really driving. It was just going to be on some kind of magnetic thing that would pull your car around, and that was going to be true by the year 2000, which obviously was not the case. But I don't really remember worrying about technology changing or political changes. I guess I was not a political person.
Did you have any doubts about what you could do in science being a woman, or was it already a wide open door for you to do anything?
I had no idea, actually.
Didn't see it as an obstacle, though, or a problem?
No, I think Dad was very supportive in that I could do anything, and he encouraged me to be in science, as did Mother, but still I think the overall feeling at Clark was that women were going to be wives. And I do remember Mother's friends who were all educated women and became doctors' wives would make comments about, well, yeah, I get a bachelor's and I'm just a mother, stuck at home kind of thing. I guess I didn't feel inhibited that I couldn't do anything, although I do remember from high school the nuns telling us that if we tried to become someone like a doctor or something, that we would be taking away the chance of a man getting to medical school. So in high school we had been discouraged from thinking at that level, but I really wasn't thinking of doing biology to be a doctor. I became, I think in 1968, interested in marine ecology. Since I had that ecology class and I had done reading. And I vaguely remember writing a paper, I think for the senior project, which would have been in 68, 69. I had to write a paper, and I think I chose marine ecology. And then I expanded that when I actually went to University of Oregon to get my master's, and wrote my master's on estuarine ecology. But I was interested in, the sciences. It was.
What was going on in the sciences? Was 1968 or any time around that important in science?
Well, I can't remember anything that actually happened in 1968 as far as. It was just a time where I was doing more reading in sciences, but most of the books on science at Clark College were from the 50s, because science was not their focus up until that point. It has become more of a focus, but at that time, no. And I remember learning about Van Allen belts, which was in a publication from 1957, which was the astrophysiological year or something, or whatever.
Yeah. What about the 60s was a time of Silent Spring and Rachel Carson. Was that at all in your awareness? Was it discussed?
I don't think I read it at that time. I remember that book being in Mother's, on her bookshelf. But I don't really remember when I read that book. I think it was after that. I think 68, when I took the ecology class, was like the beginning of my knowing about that kind of thing. And so I read more, but it would have been after 1968 that I became more of an ecology-minded person. I think prior to that, the only thing that was sort of rebellious is that I really believed that there were too many people in the world, and that I guess the population bomb idea must have been around, but I can't pinpoint it to that particular year. But in that period of time, the late 60s.
What's going on in your family life? Your parents, your brothers and sisters, your uncles and aunts and cousins and whatever?
Well, since I lived in Iowa, I really was sort of disassociated from the rest of the family, except when I came home, and I think my brother Paul was going downtown a lot, and my parents were worried about his rebellious nature and not showing up at reasonable times, as they considered it. And let me see, 68. So if I was 21, Barbara would have been 16. Seems to me that was the year she went to Banff to go to summer school or something in art. I don't really remember what my little brothers were doing that much, except for Paul, because they were just little brothers.
Yeah, sure. That's right. That's right. I think I've got some good comments here.